Justin Baldoni phenol breaks silence. Blake Lively slammed for hurting women. Justin Baldoni looked into the camera. And for the first time in almost 2 years, he did not stay silent. It was not a lawyer talking. It was not a publicist reading from a script. It was not a carefully worded statement buried in a press release. It was Justin Baldoni himself, sitting next to his wife Emily, breaking a silence that had lasted for the better part of 2 years. And the internet noticed immediately. Within hours, the video was sitting at hundreds of thousands of likes. Comments flooded in from every corner of the fanbase. People who had been waiting. People who had been watching. People who had been asking the same question for months. When is Justin finally going to speak? But here is what nobody expected. In that same window of time, Blake Lively posted her own message. And the numbers told a very different story. Far fewer likes. Comments turned off completely. No engagement allowed. Just a message going out into a void where nobody could respond. 2 people, 2 posts. 2 completely different reactions from the public. And that gap is where this story really begins. For those who have not been following closely, here is the situation. Justin Baldoni directed and starred in It Ends With Us, based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. Blake Lively starred alongside him. What should have been a career highlight for both of them turned into one of the highest public legal battles Hollywood has seen in years. Blake Lively filed a complaint. 16 separate claims were part of it. Allegations about the production. Allegations about behavior on set. Allegations that painted a picture the public had no way to verify on their own. Ryan Reynolds, her husband, was pulled into the narrative as well. And almost overnight, Justin Baldoni went from rising director to industry pariah. He lost representation. He lost opportunities. His name became attached to headlines he never asked for. And through all of it, he said almost nothing. Now, 2 years later, that silence has cracked. In the video, Justin explained why he waited. He said that every time he and Emily considered speaking out, something held them back. A feeling. A sense that the timing was not right. So instead, they let the legal process run its course quietly, without adding to what he called the noise. And that is where the story takes its first real turn. Because according to Justin, that noise was not just tabloid speculation. It was, in his words, untruthful things spoken into existence about his family for years. Strong language. And it did not stop there. Emily, sitting beside him, reinforced nearly everything he said. She had been on set. She had lived through the production herself. And when she echoed his claims about injustice and pain, it landed differently than if Justin had said it alone. This was not one side of a marriage speaking. This was 2 people who had experienced the fallout together, choosing this exact moment to finally say something. But what did they actually reveal? This is where things get interesting, because they did not name Blake. They did not name Ryan. Not once in the entire video did either of their names come up, and yet, everyone watching understood exactly who they were talking about. That is a deliberate choice. A dark, calculated move that let the internet fill in the blanks themselves. Because within hours, a community note appeared underneath the video. And that note did something the couple never did on camera. It laid out the specific legal history. It confirmed that all 16 of Blake Lively's original claims were either dismissed by the judge or dropped by Lively herself, specifically to avoid going to trial. Read that again. 16 claims, 0 survived to trial. That detail alone reframes the entire 2-year narrative that the public had been fed. So why does this matter now? Because for 2 years, the public conversation around this case leaned heavily in one direction. Blake Lively was framed as the survivor. Justin Baldoni was framed as the accused. Headlines ran with that framing. Think pieces were written around that framing. And an entire online audience formed opinions based on that framing. Now, a different picture is starting to surface. And it is not coming from a courtroom filing or a legal statement. It is coming from a quiet, emotional video where a husband and wife talk about healing, about faith, about family, and about gratitude, while very carefully never mentioning the two names that everyone already has in their heads. This is where the tension really builds, because Justin hinted that this video was not the end. He said there is more to say, and that the time for that will come. Reports following the video suggest a sit-down interview may already be in the works. There is even talk of a book written by the man Hollywood tried to cancel 2 years ago. Think about what that means for the industry around him. Production companies, legal teams, publicists. All of them watched a 2-year silence get broken with careful, deliberate language. All of them are now watching the internet turn against the side that once appeared untouchable. And Blake Lively's team knows it. That is likely why comments were disabled on her own post. When you control the narrative, you do not need to control the comment section. But when the narrative starts slipping away from you, silence becomes the only defense left. This is the climax of where things stand right now. A community note doing the job that 2 years of legal statements never fully did. A husband and wife choosing raw vulnerability over lawyers and press releases. And an audience that overwhelmingly appears to be shifting its sympathy in real time. Justin closed the video by thanking the people who supported him and Emily when he said they had no voice of their own. He specifically called out the people who used what he called discernment, even when the loudest narrative in the room was working against him. It is a subtle but pointed message. A thank you aimed directly at the people who refused to accept the official story at face value. So where does this leave things? The lawsuits are technically still resolving in the background. The legal teams are still working. But in the court of public opinion, something has clearly shifted. Justin and Emily are not disappearing back into silence. Justin has already signaled that a full interview is coming. A documentary has reportedly been in production. And a book may follow after that. Which means everything you just watched may only be the opening chapter. Blake Lively has not addressed this video directly. Ryan Reynolds has not addressed it either. And until they do, the silence on their side is filling in just as loudly as Justin's words did. 2 years of one narrative. One video. And suddenly, the public conversation looks completely different. So here is the question worth sitting with. When someone stays silent for years, while the entire internet builds a villain out of them, and it turns out that villain narrative may not hold up, who actually owes who an apology? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns like this one, uncovering what Hollywood does not want you to see, make sure you subscribe to Celebzova.